Nation.
SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first, then you act.
How much more prepared do you feel right now?
I feel a lot more prepared, just a lot more comfortable with the defense and my role on the team. I think coming in last spring did help a lot, and I got to play a little bit, but I didn't get too many base snaps. I was more nickel, delta, long down situations. And so coming in the spring I think helped a lot. And so now I just feel better, just more comfortable with the coaches and the defense as a whole.
Everybody said you're the guy to step in the lineup. I mean, without admitting stone,
right.
But making that switch over from nickelback primarily to Kari's spot. What's that transition like as a player? Because it is a little bit different.
Right. So yeah, I'm fighting for that boundary spot, that one boundary spot, and it's been a fun transition. And I couldn't think of anybody better to try to help me out than Kari, and talking to Kari on the phone. And obviously he has such big shoes to fill that whoever gets that spot really has to own it and do a great job. And so we're trying to do our best to really fill those shoes of Kari's. And we got guys like David, Josiah, and Josh Butler to help us out. And Kari's always one call away. We can talk to him whenever. So just going to that transition has been a fun transition for me, and I'm looking forward to it. Come to the spring game and next fall.
Like the responsibilities, how much you how much more of a challenge is it just those specific different responsibilities of the position, maybe run support and some of those things?
For sure, definitely more in the box a little bit more in run support, and just communication verbally, talking to the whole defense. Kari was really our bell cow for communicating, seeing what the offense is doing, understanding what they're doing, and communicating to the defense. And that's one thing the coaches want me to try to get to be able to do. They don't really expect me to be Kari. They want me to be my own player, and I want to be my own player. But that's one thing I want to try to get as good as he was, or if not better, was the communication skills and understanding what the offense is trying to do.
Leadership too. I know your name has come up by coaches and players have mentioned you as a guy who stepped up. I mean, is that being just a year after stepping on campus, and technically you're still a freshman, but is that kind of a challenge for you to be in that role?
I wouldn't say much of a challenge. I feel like I've always been a leader my whole life with anything I do, and just right now it's just. You can say it was a challenge, but because I want to be a leader and I have to assert myself as a leader on this team. But I think anybody on the team can be a leader, no matter how much you play. Honestly, it's just taking care of your business on the field, in the classroom, around the community. But a lot of people consider us leaders on this team.
What's the difference between becoming an every down player versus being a situational guy?
Right. For sure. Last year I was more of a situational player, and this year hopefully I'm stepping into a bigger every down player type of deal. I'm still looking to take reps at nickel and delta and all that, but just a lot of it has to do with your football IQ, your football knowledge, understanding your role in defense, and understanding what your teammates are going to do to help you.
You got a pretty standout special teams guy in high school. You haven't gotten got a look over there on that side?
Special team? Or you talking about offense?
Kick return.
Punt return? Not yet. I'm doing my best on special teams. That's probably where I have my most fun, get the most action at, honestly, is special teams. So I'm doing my part on special teams. Not much returning right now, but definitely on all the special teams I can get on.
Moving up in responsibility, intimidating at first, or was it something that you were really looking forward to?
I wouldn't use the word intimidating. It's something I've been looking forward to. Fighting for that boundary spot. It's competition, and competition breeds success, as everybody knows. So rock. Competition breeds success, and so fighting for that boundary spot. It's I would use the word fun and competitive for sure. So just taking on that responsibility is something that is important to me and important to whoever gets that spot. They really have to be ready for it.
So to follow up on that, talk about, I guess, your understanding of the history of that, the secondary at this school.
Well, the history is not hard to see because we got guys like Kari that just left like that. And so understanding, how the no-fly works, you really have to be on your job, really putting that jersey on. You're representing all the past players that have played before you, especially at the DB spot because we have so many great guys. And I just really want to be able to have my stuff together when I get on that field, in whatever position that may be and whatever I'm doing, and no matter what, because of all the past players that came before me.
Better hair, you or Rocky?
Rocky, I like Rocky's hair. Rocky, he cut it off at one point. I forget when he cut it off, but I was upset. But you know, we always have a competition. When he cut it off, I was sad. I was like, now I'm the standout guy with the hair. Now people are gonna get on me.
You didn't think about joining those guys and shaving your head, did you?
Not yet. Maybe someday. Yeah, it'll take a while.
How long did it take for you to grow that out?
I've been growing this side. I've always kept a little baby afro since like senior year, or towards the end of my junior year of high school, and I've grown it out ever since.
How scary was the working when he first came in after he cut his?
After he cut his wasn't too bad. I think the scariest was Tommy Lodgedale's. His was the scariest. I like Kenny's. I think everybody looks good though. I think all look good with the fresh shave.
When you go back to the decision to enroll early, you played all 13 games as your freshman, and now you're in a position to possibly be a starter. Are you about where you would have anticipated, or kind of like a best case scenario, realistic scenario heading in?
I'm not sure. I would say best case scenario because I always want to get better. I'm not where I'm at want to be right now. I'm still trying to get better and take advantage of these last three practices, including the spring game. I think coming in did help a lot, and it really helped me out throughout the season. But I did want to play a little bit more of the season, and I was good with my role in the team, whatever I can do to help. But now I get to step up and hopefully have a bigger role this upcoming season.
What do you think it was that allowed you to get out there early as a freshman? Obviously, there were some older guys ahead of you and everything,
For sure.
but to contribute the way you did last year as a freshman, what would you say it was about your skill set?
I think special teams, honestly, is the easiest way to get on the field. I was on special teams to start the season. When I first came on spring ball, Coach Haynes did a good job trying to help me out, put me on special teams, and I think I did a good job trying to be on as many as I can. And so that really kind of developed. When they can trust you on special teams, they think they can trust you on base defense and offense. And so that's, I think, where I got my shot to be play all 13 games, not just on special teams, but also on defense.
So specifically, what helped coming in? What were the spots and the nuances that helped you coming in?
You talking about what did I have bringing in?
Yeah.
I think just my ability to learn quickly. After the first practice, I was like, this isn't high school football anymore. You really have to know your stuff. And so understanding the offense quickly, I had to understand. I think I made a big jump from last spring to the fall and last camp. Just kind of understanding the defense and what your job is as a safety and as a nickelback. Understanding what the offense is trying to do, I think was probably the biggest help or the biggest difference from high school to college football.
Did you sense at all last year that you were kind of being groomed to take over a starting role, or more contributions this year?
I'm not sure. We were real focused on trying to win last year, and I was trying to do the best I could last year at whatever I was playing, whether I was nickel or safety or special teams. But we are always trying to develop players. One of our things is we're trying to develop 22 starters on defense, and so everybody has to be ready to play whenever they can.
Were you one of those? Mike had just talked about that, saying in the meeting room he asked everybody who was competing in second-team defense to stand up, and then said, raise your hand, and said, whoever played more than 30 snaps or so of defense last year. You were over that threshold, I assume?
Yes, sir. I was over that threshold.
I
30
figured.
plays, I'm pretty sure, yeah. I think I might have played around like 120 or something.
Okay, I thought so, but I didn't count those.
What's a couple of things you know now that haven't played a full season of D1 football that you didn't know at this time of year ago?
I would say just understanding what the offense is trying to do, just like what kind of formations they come out in, how that affects you on defense. Understanding your personnel, you really have to dive into film, and that's one thing I think the older guys like David and Kari really helped us with. It's like when you dive into the film, the game becomes so much more slow. You know what I mean? You can slow the game down. You can anticipate things a lot better. So understanding what the offense is trying to do is something I feel like is a big help for me.
Talk about David, and I think what would be considered a new role for him to maybe take over for Kari as a leader.
Right, for sure. One thing David said when we were transitioning to the spring was he's trying to develop into a leader like Kari. He's trying to develop into the best leader he can be. I can definitely tell he's been doing that. He's been calling us, getting us into the film room, getting us into extra film time. A lot because we brought in 5 DBs in my class. And so David's been on our phone telling us, come on, we're going to go watch film at this time, this and that. And so he's been developing into leader tremendously. I can see it all spring. And,
has he wrestled you out of bed any of those times?
Not yet. He hasn't had to wrestle me out of bed yet. I know he's been on people's heads before. I'm not going to say any names.
Now that it's your second spring's almost over, full season. how well would you say you know the defense? Because I guess from afar it seems like maybe a simple to learn but hard to perfect thing. I don't know if I read that right. I mean, where would you say your knowledge of the system is?
I don't know where my knowledge is yet. I know there's a lot more I can do to become better. A lot more knowledge I can understand. I think I'm definitely getting better with knowing the defense and knowing my role on the defense. I think there's a lot more improvements I can do, and just going. I can tell I've been getting better throughout the spring practices. So I'm just looking forward to taking advantage of these last 3 practices, including the spring game, to get better, understand the defense, and perfect my role to try and help the team out.
When you are up there with the first stringers, you're playing with a lot of guys who have played a lot of football, a lot of good football last year. Does that, not saying you lack confidence, but does that sort of give you any more confidence just sort of secondhand when you're playing with a Bocce or Raekwon that know what it takes to play elite level defense? It's like, I'm part of these guys now. Is that kind of a boosting effect or anything?
A little bit. When you see Bocce out there and Raekwon and all the other dudes, older dudes, making plays and all that, that kind of gives you, if you want to make a play, but you got to do your 1/11 to try to help the team out. That's what I always want to do, because I know those guys are going to do their part. So I got to try my hardest to do my part, and for sure, it kind of gives you a little bit more confidence.
Makes you want to
big dogs.
Heard that you are absolutely unafraid, like most corners, to put your head in somebody's gut and hit. Where does that come from? That linebacker mentality on the corner isn't normal.
Well, I'm playing safety right now, but for sure, you know, everybody, and that's how no fly is. You know, you can't be scared. We're dedicated to stopping the run, even in the back end. That's how our defense is. And so that's just what we've been trained to do ever since we got here. Honestly, since I've been growing up, that's what I've been trained to do since I started playing football.
Your favorite previous member of the no-fly zone?
Favorite memory, watching Darquez and Trey Waynes play Isaiah Lewis, play in the Rose Bowl, just watching those guys on islands while the rest of the defense stops the run, watching those dudes play on islands, watching safeties come down and make tackles in the box. It's probably my favorite thing, watching no fly.
Is that something that sort of opened your eyes to Michigan State, or did you know a lot about them before? Or
I
that
was
something like, whoa, like I kind of want to be a part of that, I guess?
I was familiar with it growing up. I was always watching those because they were such a great defense. You know what I mean? As a football fan, a Big Ten fan, I was always watching those guys and how hard they run to the ball, get to the ball, tackle well, play well in space. That's always something I've watched and admired and try to help perfect here while I'm here, so I can be like them or better than them. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Xavier.